Hello, everybody. Welcome to Degenerates Not Your Mom's podcast. My name is Youssef, and that's Legina.
Hi.
Hello,
How are you?
everybody. How are you? I'm good, Legina. You?
I'm good. It's morning, so I have coffee today. No
Yes.
alcohol, sadly. But if you're listening with us, please get a glass of whatever you enjoy and let's cheers. Still cheers with coffee.
Let's cheers. I also got my
Cheers.
cup here. Cheers.
Good
Yeah.
morning. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yep. It's episode gets recorded and released today. So
Sometimes we do this.
sometimes we do this. Yeah. um Another thing that is really, really cool, and I just want to make sure to mention this at the top of the episode, is that we are now posting full episodes on YouTube. Yes, if you go to our YouTube
Woo.
channel, you can see the last 3 episodes, starting with our Halloween episode.
Oh, God.
And we will be also posting this one today or tomorrow. And yeah, so if if you're at home, you want to check us out, see our faces as we do this show and our reactions, go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. Very embarrassing, the Halloween episode, because I like had a semi costume in the beginning. If you
Yeah.
want to see it. Had a lot of explanations to it. Didn't really work out. But
Yeah.
anyways, I cut my fingers so bad while I was working because we launched new cocktails this week, and then I was just kind of like out of my mind the whole week.
Oh no.
And yeah, it's like I guess I do this like every few months where I cut my finger really bad while prepping, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it was about time that happened again, you know?
What were you
And
cutting?
it's
Limes?
always, yes, I was cutting limes and I was making wheels, and that's like so dangerous
Ooh,
because
yeah.
when it goes to the end of the line gets like really flimsy and weird,
Yeah.
and then when it slips, the like knife slips, and we have like the biggest butcher knife looking knife ever to use that, and that fucking knife cut me so many times.
Oof.
But anyways, other than
Man.
that,
All right. Yeah, yeah. That's the perils of working behind the bar.
yeah, for reals. I was like really excited also today because I actually didn't have time to watch it, but I saw the Spider-Man trailer was out. There's
Oh,
gonna be a
okay.
new Spider-Man, and
Hmm.
all the Spider-Mans from before time are all gonna be in it.
Wait,
So
including
it's
Toby Maguire or whatever his name is?
yeah.
Really? Okay.
So the three Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and this guy, this kid. What the fuck is his name?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
stopped watching Spider-Man at
Um
Toby Maguire.
Damn it, I was gonna ask you which Spider-Man's your favorite. Clearly, it's like your only Spider-Man favorite is Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people like Spider-Man and everything. I should probably get back into it. Same thing with all the super Marvel heroes stuff. I want to like actually watch all of them because so many people like them. But yeah, I also like Kirsten Dunst, whatever, the actress in that
Yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah.
So
Oh, okay, the redhead.
yeah.
Well, she was Mary Jane. She was redhead there, but is she always redhead? I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
Spiraling. Anyways, so yeah, that got me excited, and also that got me thinking. Like, I realized that I just like because the Spider-Mans that are out now, they're really good too. And
Mm,
but like I realized that I really just like the whatever superhero of my when I was growing up, whoever this guy
mm,
like like Batman. My favorite Batman. I actually don't have a favorite Batman because when I was young, every fucking Batman movie was a different Batman. And that was
yeah.
what I knew of Batman, and I like all of them. I was like Val Kilmer, yeah, George Clooney, yeah. I was like, yeah, I love this. And then it became like one Batman for a while, and I was like,
Hmm.
boo, this is no fun. I mean, those movies were great, Dark Knight and all of that, of course, but and then like 007. Do you have a favorite 007?
I'm not like a 007 fan really. I
Mm-hmm.
never,
Okay.
it's just okay. But like, I guess if I were to choose one, like for me, when I think of 007, it's Pierce Brosnan or Brosnan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So me too. And I was just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't even. It's not even a favorite because I really like the person or really like the acting. It's just like when I was a kid and watched it, this person
Yeah.
was that character. So I
Yeah.
love that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Same for Spider Man, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I get, like, all the Spider-Mans are good, and I think Andrew Garfield got the most shit as Spider-Man, but I really
Mm.
like that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Whatever. Anyways, that was just, like, my
Interesting.
thought of the day in the morning, and I was like, I wonder if everyone is like this, just, like, liking the person, or is everyone very, like, critical of the actual acting and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, no, no, I get that. I for the Spider-Mans need to like watch them. To get up to speed to them
Mm-hmm.
with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but the thing about the reason why I like Tobey Maguire is also because
Mm-hmm.
it's also got like what's that? The Green Goblin. I really like the Green Goblin, and I
Mm.
like the actor who played him,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe. He's
Yeah,
such a
yeah, yeah.
crazy actor.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Is the Green Goblin in the new Spider-Man?
Oh,
Because you
there
know
was a
what?
whole roll up of villains. I think a lot of them are going to be in it. I forget.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm pretty sure Willem Dafoe won't be playing
Mm-hmm.
the Green Goblin because he's pretty
That would be
old.
awesome.
But
Cause that's the reason. Cause he's pretty old.
yeah, I mean, like he's pretty already old, like in the first one, but now he's like really old, like
Yeah, like he's fit for being a goblin. Cause he's old.
Dude, that actor is creepy because I've watched this movie. He's a great actor. I watched this
Mhm.
movie called Antichrist or Anticristo. It was on
Okay.
Netflix, and it's
Uh-huh.
this thriller, horror movie thriller. It's got Willem
Okay.
Dafoe. It's got full on penetration. Like that's not why it's suspenseful or horror. It's got sex. No, no. But like it
This
does.
guy will
It
be
has
good. He's old. This movie's good. Penetration. Sorry. Okay, we got.
no, but he really
No.
they actually show the dick going into the woman's
Oh
vagina.
God.
Yeah, and then that so I was like, what? But then they like
That's on
and
Netflix.
not now, but it was at one
Okay.
point, and also
Okay.
you see Willem Dafoe's asshole. This is so
Well,
weird. It's true. Like there's a part
is
where
that why he would be a good goblin?
he's like flying on
I'm
his thing. He's like,
confused.
yeah, yeah, look at my asshole. No, but it's true.
Superpower.
Yeah, my superpower. No, but it's true, and
Oh.
I
Mm-hmm.
still can't piece it together, but like it's true. Like they have a lot of very forceful, very negatively charged sex in in some scenes. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not why that adds to the creepy factor of the movie. But the
Okay.
creep
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
yeah, but it's like
Uh,
eerie and dark, and then it's about a woman, his wife, and they don't know if she's something's wrong with her, something psychologically was wrong with her, and
okay.
it's like very creepy. Anyways, that's off topic, but yeah. And anyways, Willem Dafoe, he's the man, or whatever.
Okay.
Um, but speaking
But.
about bizarre
Mhm.
things, and
Yes.
there's this thing that I've been seeing lately. I'm sure you have too. The Facebook ad, Meta. It's called Meta now. Have you seen this
I have
Facebook ad?
seen it. Don't understand what meta is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think most people do, but
Uh-huh.
I read about it. And Meta, basically the metaverse is a virtual reality world where you can conduct your everyday things. You can go to work, you can go shopping, you can go to you can have meetings, you can meet your friends. Um
Mm-hmm.
you will require though, because I was doing more research, like how, like you will need like some type of 3D glassware or something like that.
Okay.
But it'll be as if you're going to the mall, going to work. You can also do things like if you have to do a training video for work, let's say if you're a surgeon, this is like examples I saw, they'll have like all
Mhm.
these things and it feels like you're there. And basically you're interacting, with other people's avatars, which I guess is just like their icon or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but it will feel pretty real, and it's like the internet, the next step of the internet. That's what they're
Okay.
saying it is. So I guess Facebook is, um, you know, kind of advertising
Moving, trying to.
this new
Okay.
aspect of their social media, all of them, not just Facebook,
Okay.
but like Meta, everything.
Right, right.
And
So Meta is gonna be like the bigger umbrella of what Facebook is inside then,
yeah,
or okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
and but going back to this commercial, I don't know if the people out there have seen it. It's definitely weird, and I have watched this thing 15 times because I'm trying to piece it together, and
Uh.
I think it's got some layers of there's aside from what I think it's I like it actually. Now that I watch
Mhm.
it, it's kind of cool. I like it's creative. It's got it's a lot of cool funky stuff going on, but I think there's
Okay.
a lot of sexual innuendo in that video.
Okay.
And I might have gone too deep or whatever, but check this out. Okay.
Okay,
So
so we're gonna post this in our story. So whoever, like, if you haven't seen it, just go to our Instagram, take a look at the video before we talk about this.
yeah. So the video starts off with kids. They're in a museum. They're looking at a painting. It's got a tiger and who's like got this buffalo pinned down, and it starts off, and then there's music starting. The buffalo, the tiger, then like caresses the buffalo. That part's cool. But then and then he says, "This is gonna be fun." And in the back, it shows like they're
What he
crouched
said?
down.
Wait, he says it in this really creepy, weird, like, what do you call it? Like nature. What is it? What are those like
National
shows?
Geographic.
Yeah, like National Geographic narration. Wait, this is like I can't do it, but
Yeah, he's like, "This is gonna be fun" or something like that.
yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know.
like really creepy. It was creepy for me. I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
Anyways, continue.
yeah, and so they're crouched down, right? Like their heads are
Mhm.
down and their asses up, right? And then they go behind, and then what do you see? You see a bunch of yellow bananas, and they're all throbbing and like they're bouncing. Yeah, and then on top of the bananas are toucans, like Fruit Loops,
Yeah.
like the Fruity Birds, and
Fruit.
they're like dancing on. They're dancing
Yeah, it
on
was like
top. Yeah, and then
their
and those
beaks are like.
their beaks are like this. They're dancing, and beneath them the bananas are going like this, and then it cuts to like flamingos. Now
Oh
flamingos,
yeah.
yeah, the flamingos that are like twerking, and then like I was like, okay, well, maybe there's some deep meaning here. And again, this is just me maybe just looking way too deep into this that is necessary. But I just went online. I'm like, what does a pink flamenco mean? So it
Oh
says,
wow, you went
accord,
really deep.
yeah. And check this. According to a Reddit thread, some of the common signals of swingers are pink flamingos on your lawn. Other ones include
What?
yeah. Other ones, garden gnomes. I didn't know about that on your lawn. White rocks around your mailbox, and wearing a black ring on your right hand.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
mean,
confused.
yeah,
That's a thing? So like every house I've seen with a fucking garden gnome is like
they're swingers. Yeah.
swingers? That's absurd. I've seen so many.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know about that, but like,
Mhm.
maybe if this got everything, it's got the garden gnomes, it's got the flamingos, it's got the rocks around the mailbox. Maybe then
Okay.
it's like,
Like
okay,
major, major.
all right, yeah. And then not only that, but then going back to the ad, there's like
Mhm.
these like weird koalas and they're like
Yeah.
dancing together and they're
I
looking
didn't
at
even know
you.
they were koalas.
I
They
don't know
look
if they
really
are
weird.
koalas, but they're just like
Weird
what
animals.
weird animals, and they're looking at you in that video in such a weird way. It's like kind of unnerving. And then and then there's a guy with glasses, and he's like, like jiving to the music, but it
Uh-huh.
looks like he's like having an orgasm if you look at it.
No, yeah, he like kind of like has like an angry like what do you call it? Like he's closing his eyes, but he has this like painful face at the same time, like as having
Painful,
fun.
but
Yeah,
also
like
pleasurable, and he's like,
yeah, exactly.
he's like, and then the last thing is like, oh, well, and then that's when the tiger says this is gonna be fun, and then if you look at the buffalo and the tiger, they give each other a side glance, and then they look at the camera. It's all pretty weird, and to add one more layer of weirdness to it, um, what does it say? The first sentence that the tiger says is, this is what it says. He says, quote, "This is the dimension of the imagination." And this website says, creativeblock.com, which is a direct quote from Rod Sterling's The Twilight Zone, a nod to the classic sci-fi horror drama. Twilight Zone represents a mental state between reality and fantasy, according to yourdictionary.com. So it's like, whatever. It's a very interesting
Hmm.
and
I
bizarre
mean,
ad.
I bet
I like it though.
they put a lot of fucking thought into it, so maybe
Yeah.
what you're reading is correct. Like for just like if I just saw it, I would be like, "Oh, that's kind of weird," and like disregard. But these people probably put a lot of meaning into every single thing in there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. And also the fact, like in the beginning, that the tiger doesn't eat the buffalo but pets it on the head. So the buffalo is
Yeah.
vegetarian, grass eater. Tiger is meat
Uh,
eater, and they're like at peace with each other. So there's also that as well. And it's like, let's not fight, let's come
hmm.
together and
Yeah,
let's be
yeah, yeah.
creative, and let's have orgies and stuff. I
In the
mean,
meta, in
again,
the
in the meta,
metaverse.
yeah, which
You think
is
there's gonna be
also,
like porn?
there is already, from what I know. Yeah. Yes. And
Okay. Oh, like the 3D, no, 4D type thing.
yep. And check this out. So I also did some digging on this. Investigative Youssef went on to work this week. Um, so this is from Inc.com, Inc. magazine.
Hmm.
If your Facebook and the grand vision of your company is that people will spend hours a day wearing headsets, living and working in virtual reality, you're going to need some headsets to sell them. Which there are. Those, they're called the Oculus, and they start at
Oh
300 and go
yeah,
to
I know that.
400.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that is, from what I know. I mean, I was listening to podcasts last year,
Uh huh.
and some dude was like, "Yeah, I had an orgy actually this morning." He was talking to his co-host. He was like, "I had an orgy with like five
With a
women."
thing.
Yeah, and he was like, "Let me tell you, it's like awesome," or something like that.
I don't understand, but then do you use like a toy while you're watching this? So that because like okay, we're in the 3D or whatever universe. It's not like these people are actually physically touching me, right? So do I like you eventually you have to jack yourself off, right? While
Yeah, I
watching
guess
these
so.
beautiful
Yeah.
women or whatever. Like, okay, so is that cheating or not?
Well, that's a good question, because it's like, I don't know. I guess it's like porn 3.0. Um
Right,
and
because
it
like watching porn and jacking off is not cheating, I don't think. But
Yeah, no, I
in
don't think
this
so either.
case, would it be cheating? In this case, if they're other like, are they real life other people? He said orgy, right? Like, are
Yeah,
they?
yeah. I think that's like, you can just like log into whatever you're looking at, and then you're in there. So let's say
Hmm.
it's a movie that already exists for some reason. So maybe you're just
Hmm.
standing there and it looks 3D, and you're looking at like the women around you, but you're not necessarily doing things to them.
Hmm.
However, this, what you mentioned, is also maybe a possibility, where you have your friend and it's like, "Hey man, you want to hang out like in the metaverse?" And it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah." And it's like, "Oh, there you are. There's your avatar." And then it's like,
yeah,
"Yeah."
and
And
you're like
then
walking around. Hmm.
and then like, someone makes a move, and then it leads to virtual sex. You know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah.
like, would that be cheating? I think if it's another person, I think definitely it's like,
Yeah, if you're like,
definitely,
hey,
yeah.
hey,
That's not
meet at the
porn.
orgy. Yeah, it's like meet at the orgy dorm, or what do you dorm? Not dorm. What is it? What am I thinking about right now? Dome, dome. I was
Orgy
thinking dome.
dome.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like let's meet there in the metaverse at 3, and then you like do with your headset, and then you like
Yep.
actually talk with the person.
Yeah.
But I bet people are gonna be like, but I physically never was with this person. This person never physically touched me, and then there's gonna be fights about that. I think.
100%. I mean, like
Yeah.
already right now, like you can play tennis or sport or anything with someone
Mhm.
using those Oculus, you know? You
Oh,
can
that's pretty cool. Hmm.
yeah, you can play squash or whatever it is,
Hmm.
or I think some other games that they have there. But I mean, it's just only a matter of time, really. Yeah.
I don't know if I would like that though. I feel like I'm too like, maybe just because we were born in the era that like this wasn't happening, and then we like moved into this era. I feel like that is like a little too much. Even social media, everything is a little overwhelming, but like we grew into it, so we're using it. We like have to for social like, you know,
The function.
life. Yeah, but going into that, I feel like is losing your other social life to spend hours and hours. Like you'll be stuck there. Like even fucking TikTok or Instagram makes me like be stuck on this screen. Can you imagine if I can like shop, I can do everything, I can talk with my friends inside that universe? Like I
Yeah.
would never get out. I feel like I'll become like some weird like vegetative state
Yeah.
inside that
Hmm.
metaverse. Yeah, I'm scared of that.
No, I and that's the actually that's the arguments that they're having right
Hmm.
now today. The youth, like today's generation. I have
Hmm.
nephews, so
Yeah.
from age 6 to age 14, and
Hmm.
they grew up way attached to the phone than us,
Oh
and they're
yeah.
the people that are going to experience this already. You try to like unglue my nephews. I have one who's 9, the other one who's 6,
Hmm.
from their phones. It's impossible, and also the 14-year
Yeah.
old one. It's impossible, and their lives is like on their phones playing games like Roblox. Like
Yeah.
that's a game from the metaverse that
Oh.
is like using all this like new technology stuff like blockchain and everything. I've been reading up on all this stuff this week. um but it's like those guys, and then I'm sure they're going to want now with this like metaverse stuff, these virtual reality games and toys and tools like glasses. They're going to get that, and like you said, there's arguments like why would a kid, like before they would go outside and play, but now they grew up playing within these virtual worlds, and it's like, well, that's just how they grew up. And then there's people like
Yeah.
you and me who did not grow up like that. Yes,
Hmm.
we're I draw the line
Part way. Yeah.
yeah, I draw the line at what's it called, Instagram. I have
Instagram.
not gone into TikTok. It could not because
I'm
I'm
like a
against it.
tiny bit younger than you, so maybe I got like up to TikTok, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's where I'm gonna draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe you never will, but like, it's just like for me, it's like it is feeling like it's moving a little if too fast for me. It's like, dude, I'm cool.
Mm.
I like the world as it is now, and yes, I like
Mm.
Amazon delivering my packages the next day. That's
Right.
awesome. But and I like movies, and but
Yeah.
that virtual reality shit, man, it does
That kind of
freak me out
scares
a
me.
little
Yeah.
bit, and it
Yeah.
might be because I
Definitely.
don't know enough of it, but about it, but
Either way, I feel like we've seen enough movies that shit ruins people's lives, and that shit is somehow gonna. What's that? There was a Steven Spielberg movie too about that. Ready Player Ready One, something like that.
oh
Um,
really?
it was a recent movie, maybe like a few years. I would say maybe like 1 or 2 years ago it came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's about that where it's like a dystopian future, and everyone is just stuck glued into that thing. Everyone has these headsets that they live in like weird trailer homes that are stacked on top of each other, but they cannot get out of this headset.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a movie about that, and I'm like,
What
it
is it
freaks me
called?
out. It was like Player Ready One, something like that. But it
Player
was
Ready
cool.
One.
It was cool. That movie was cool because in that metaverse in the movie, he brought back a lot of his old like Steven Spielberg movie robots or like characters inside
Mm-hmm.
of it as like a
Mm.
cameo, kind of like not that they're like the main, but like you can see them, like even the DeLorean, you can see,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, it's like all the old movie stuff, yeah. But yeah, it's like that. Like I feel like even say like Terminator and things like that. We're already. I mean, I grew up or we grew up watching movies that too much technology is scary.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, and like Judgment. It's so funny. Just going back to like these movies.
Yeah.
Judgment Day was like 2000 and what 1999. Wait, Judgment Day was like 2002 or something. Or
Oh
and
wow.
and also like I was I don't know if you've ever watched uh V for Vendetta.
Yes.
V for
Of
Vendetta was
course.
was
Yeah.
was supposed to be 2020, and
Oh
it's
wow.
about
Yeah.
and V for Vendetta, and I haven't watched it since I watched it. I watched it once in the
I
movie
need to watch
theaters.
it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Because a lot of people and like if you want to get into like the I don't want to, but like to the COVID stuff and into like
Oh
the
yeah.
vaccines and what people think the government's trying to control or not. A lot of people are saying watch V for Vendetta because that stuff is very
Yeah.
kind of like illuminating to what is going on
Yeah.
today. Which I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll give that a watch just to see what it you know.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
I definitely want to rewatch that. I honestly, I have so many things I want to watch right now, and I
Yeah,
just don't have time for it.
yeah. I have a list. See, I want to get back into horror movies like the way that I used to be, just
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
think that like, how they say like sometimes like like for example, you have to work towards your relationship, or you have to work keep the fire alive, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like go on
Mm-hmm.
dates and like whatever. I think the same is true for like the passions and things you are passionate about.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll just like kind of like let stuff fall to the side. And most people, I
Mm-hmm.
think, just like move on. But like
Yeah.
for me, I've had to like consciously take heavy metal and like heavy music and like
Mm-hmm.
and consciously try to like it again and discover new artists. Because there's one thing I hate is like not that I hate, but like when I speak to someone and then they say, "Oh, do you like metal? You still listen to music and stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, no, I listen to like the old shit, like like stuff I listen to. Like I stopped listening to like new
Yeah.
stuff, and I just stopped, and that's fine. Some people will just move on and listen to a new form of music, but for me, it's like, well, I only still pretty much like metal and hard rock and roll, and so
Yeah. Yeah.
so the same way I'm trying to like discover new bands in that genre of music, I'm going back and trying to find old other movies that I need to watch, but force myself to watch because that's been a huge part of my I've always
Yeah.
been about horror movies, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, even not just relationships, but it's something that a lot of people overlook. That, like, in order to keep that passion and keep that interest going, you have to try. Like, it just doesn't just come naturally, for
Yeah.
anything. And then
Yep.
I feel like people are just kind of like, oh, this didn't work out? Okay, forget about it. I'm not doing it again,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the effort has to go into whatever you do, in
Yeah.
order to make it better, or in order to like it more, or in order to know more about it, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
better at it. Yeah.
And that goes
uh,
the same for like your craft. Like you're a
yeah.
bartender, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're always trying to learn more, and this is something that you have, like
Hmm.
consciously dedicated yourself
Oh
to,
yeah, yeah.
and you strive to learn more from other people, videos, like just
Hmm.
things you read, just trying new tools, new everything. And I think that's important because that's how you become like more known in your like
Hmm.
more knowledgeable in your field. That's how you become the
Hmm.
expert, like these because yeah, like
Definitely.
I you could just let it go like, oh, I'm not into it anymore, but it's like, no, you can't let that die. You gotta, if
Yeah.
inside like that's something that you like, and you must
Hmm.
make it live because it wants you to I mean, it wants you to keep doing that, I think. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what else? It's like my mom actually told me this because I was like, when I was like trying to find other jobs for bartending and stuff, every time I start a new place, I'm just kind of like amazed that I think I know a lot, and then I'm just like back to. It
Yeah.
feels like I'm back to ground. I'm like, there's always someone that is better, that knows more, and I'm like, fuck. And then it's
Yeah.
just like I've been in this industry 6 years. I know everything. I can and like I can do this, and then I'm like, oh, I had no idea this was supposed to be done like this. Even little things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was telling my mom this, and my mom was like, okay, so she started piano when she was like 4 years old or something. And
Wow.
she was like, she grew up in this small town in Korea, so she was like the best in that small town, of course, like prodigy, whatever. And she like all the concerts, all the church, church, uh, organ,
Recitals
playing the
or
organ, and
okay.
like, yeah, all of that. And then she went to college in Seoul, and she was like, oh shit, okay, I gotta do more because you see all these people that are good also. And then she moved here to the States to study, and like she said that a lot of professors gave her so much shit. So in Korea, in Seoul, when she was a college student, she started like performing for a lot of broadcasting TV shows, like a lot of background music. She did a lot of shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and then she moved here and she was like, I I got a lot of shit, and I felt so like insecure because she thought like, oh, I'm like really good. I'm good in Korea, wherever I was good. And then she comes here, and then like professors are like, you have to change like how you're moving your fingers, or like little things that are like basic stuff. And she was like, what have I been doing this wrong my entire life? Like, what is happening,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was telling me that there's always gonna be, so you always just have to put more effort, always have to practice more. Like, if you love this, it's also gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy, whatever it is. And same for relationships, same for friendships, all of that, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, and to that point, like I feel like in many of the things that I've done or read or studied, it's
Mhm.
true what they say. Like the more you read, the more you like go into it, the less you feel you know. I
Yeah,
mean, if you think about
for real,
like,
yeah.
yeah, if I mean, this is like cliche, but if you watch videos on all the people that you admire, and then like you
Mhm.
ask them like, so at what point do you say, oh, I've know a lot or I know enough, or and they all say there is never any point. Like
Never,
every
yeah,
day, I feel like I'm learning, but not like, oh, I feel like I'm learning. That's so cliche to say, but it's like they also say I feel like I know less now, and that's why
yeah,
given what I know now, and that's why I keep pushing to know more. Of course, if you're someone watching them, they're
Mhm.
like, you know so much, but it's like, that they're like in the
Yeah,
midst of it. They're still in that forest, and they think what you were saying. I'm not good enough. There's someone better. There's all this
yeah.
shit. Like I went to like a few shows recently, to watch a few metal shows, and I'm watching some of the frontmen, mostly frontmen. Oh, some women too, and then
Mhm.
but I'm also studying them. I'm studying them because I'm like, okay, these are the guys who think they're better than me. These are the guys who think claim to be good, and then some of
Yeah.
them are good, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, you think you can, you know what? I'm like, this nearly 40-year-old will show you when he gets on stage
Mhm.
how a real frontman, what a real frontman does and what a real frontman is. Of course, there's a bit of delusion in my mind, but like I have to approach it this way. There's no
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's no way. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not 60 yet, and I feel like I have so much left in the tank, and it's like, and maybe yeah, like when I get on stage and my band starts playing shows, maybe it's like, okay, yeah, maybe yeah, those guys are good, you know. But like, but right now it's like I'm looking at this like this is what they're doing. Cool. I do it differently, and I'm gonna do it this way. But also it's inspiring. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
It makes me want to push more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, because of that reason, I feel like because like our mindsets or my mindset is like this, when I see someone that's arrogant, that doesn't know shit, I get so angry.
Yeah.
And also, I get angry with people that have stopped trying. Those people that are like, I know everything and now I'm gonna stop. Like, this
Yeah.
is how I do things. I don't care more or less. Like, no, I'm not gonna. Like, just even small things, say in bartending, because that's like what I'm working in right now. Jiggering. So prestigious bars jigger everything super, super accurately. Like at one of my bars, I use 2.5 milliliter spoons, tiny spoons. So nothing is ever a splash. You know, it's everything is measured. And then there are the people that are like, no, I worked long enough. I
Hmm.
can measure everything accurately. I'm like, ah, really? Like every time you pour something, do you want me to try pouring it out into a jigger and see if it's right? No, no one is that accurate. We're not robots, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
it's just like gets me angry sometimes that people stop. But then again, like you can't expect everyone to have same passion or the same amount of like, um, I don't know, care. Like you know, people that
Yeah.
really care about their jobs, and there are people that do it because of the money, whatever it is. Yeah, but I
No.
have to let some of that go. But I get really upset. I'm like, why doesn't this person care as much as me? Like, oh
Wait,
no.
wait. So you use? I know which spoons you're talking about. You're talking about the long ones, right? The long ones,
No,
and you.
no, actual measuring spoons that are
Oh,
like 2.5 milli, like the like when you cook,
yeah.
you use like yeah, it's actually like
Ah,
measurements. So 2.5 and 5 milliliters.
okay.
So yeah, so over there when I make an old fashioned, it's not like zero point 0.5 sugar. It's like 5 milliliters, which is like the tiniest spoon ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At one of my old bars, we used to use the long mixing spoon, and we used to,
Mm,
especially with the sugars, with the syrups, and we would like,
yeah.
put like squeeze a little bit depending on what you wanted, because
Right.
it was
Right.
like, yes, there was some simple syrup, but also it was like simple syrup with vanilla in it, so you want little
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
that. So I
Mm.
thought that was cool, and you know, yeah, bar days.
Sorry, we got so
Yeah,
into
got to technical bar stuff.
right.
But but there was what's gonna call it? There was there's been this story though that's been
Uh-huh.
going around. I've seen it everywhere. I've
Okay.
seen it on the Tonight Show. I've seen it on SNL, you
Uh-huh.
know, and it's this Mile High Sex Club airplane. Have
Okay,
you?
so
Yeah.
so this whole week I was like out of my mind busy because of this cocktail shit. And Youssef sent me so many links to so many things, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? Oh my god, what is this? I have to read this. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of crazy shit happening this week in the world.
It was a busy one this week for some reason, you know?
It's very,
Usually you're the one who
yeah.
catches these things. And then I'm like, okay, cool, cool. But this week I was like, this, gotta send this
What
over
is
to you.
this?
What is this?
We gotta talk about this. And I'm like, what is this? Okay, anyway, so Mile High Sex Club.
Yeah,
Or
Mile
is
High
that what it
Sex
is?
Club. Well, get this.
Uh,
All right, so let me pull up the article. Um, so this is from the New York Post. Love Cloud Vegas charters jets to nowhere for horny Mile High clubbers. Now, um, this is this is from the website. For 995, $1,000, couples can charter a Love Cloud jet for 45 minutes and get busy while Blake, 51 years old, flies them 5,200 feet above Las Vegas. Uh, should that not be enough time to get your propeller spinning? Sessions range up to 1,500 for an hour and a half. Yeah.
okay, funny thing. Why is Blake, what was it, pilot 51? Like, what his age is so important that they had to include it?
I don't know, but I was like, but it made me think. I was like, this guy's 51 years old and he just came up with this idea, like,
Yeah.
like at 51. I'm like, what did he do before? Like, where did he work for
Was
before?
he like a airline pilot? Was he,
Yeah, I think so because I googled his name. I forgot what his full name is, but like on the article it says his full name, and I googled, and he's like a pilot from the DC area for like one of the big, yeah, and it said like his last salary and everything,
Oh.
and I was like, wow, and he was anyways, it could be him, but like this 51-year-old dude is like, how am I gonna make a lot of money? I know. So basically, just for the listeners, this is not like a big fancy schmancy plane. This is a little two propeller plane. So in the back, you can fit maybe 4 people or like, 5 people. And the pilot is in the front. He's got curtains and he wears noise canceling headphones.
I was just gonna ask that. I was like, okay, that tiny ass plane where people are gonna be loud. Does he just is he a pervert? That's why he started this. He was like, I just love listening to people have sex. He started doing this.
Maybe, but it's like it would not surprise me if it crossed his mind to have a camera in there.
Oh my god, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like, this is, a sleazy enterprise, and it wouldn't surprise me if 51
Oh
year
my
old
god,
pilot.
maybe he would sell these
Yes.
to the people. Like, he'd be like, so
Oh.
you want your own porn of you guys having sex in this plane?
or man, if he's really evil, he can like he can release a bunch of videos like Girls Gone Wild, but also like just to blackmail people or to just like,
For
like
real.
sell it and then be like,
Mhm.
peace out. I'm moving to Argentina or some Caribbean island where no one's gonna find me. And I made a shit ton of money, like just
Just like
selling.
Pornhub, whatever, put it up and no one can track him and he'll
Yeah.
just get money from that.
Yeah. Unless if some of those
God.
people are really rich and they're like, this guy's gonna die, they'll track him down and kill
Oh
him.
yeah, they'll just kill him.
Yeah.
But no, that got me thinking about two things. My all-time favorite movie, The Fifth Element.
Oh, really?
Have you seen that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, so The
Yeah.
Fifth Element had
Good.
a scene where, so good, Chris Tucker, he's like the celebrity in that movie.
Hmm.
Ruby Rod? What is that the name? Yes.
Oh, yes, yes. He's got like
Yeah.
blonde hair or something.
Yeah, he has like weird spongy hair.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like dystopian future type movie too. Anyway, so he's like sleeping with one of the flight attendants on the plane, and
Hmm.
as they like take off, her legs like like go, and then now we have taken off, and her like legs come down slowly. Like, everyone have a good flight, and then her legs are like come down. I don't know why that, like, I remember that. And also, I remember, like, I used to read this weird sex blog. So this girl wrote this blog about her sexual adventures, and she had a partner, but she was also like, they did threesomes and stuff like that. Horrible writing, by the way. I was always like, I feel like I could write better than this.
Is this guy's be
Like,
fucked?
no, no, no.
Oh, okay.
No, it was a blog.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a blog where this girl just wrote about like her adventures with her partner, and everything was anonymous. She would just write.
Hmm.
She would write it kind of like, it felt like Twilight, like
Hmm.
bad writing, but a lot of sex, so people are still interested. So
Yeah.
you're like reading it, and
Yeah.
one was about like she like secretly not even had sex, but she was like, oh, now I'm in the Mile High Club because she like jacked off her partner or something. Oh no, she backed up on him while he was like on the side, and she was like, oh, nobody knew, whatever. And it
Wow.
was just like, yeah, everyone was just sitting there sleeping and whatever, but they were in a scene and they did that.
Wow.
And she like wrote this whole story about it. I remember that, and I was like, and then every time I'm on a plane, I think about that, and I'm like, this is impossible. There are way too many people. People are walking around. I cannot even get into a bathroom like secretly with a partner, I feel like, because
Yeah.
they're right there. Everyone is just looking. It's
Yeah.
impossible. I've looked a lot of times. I'm like, could it be possible? Because now that I've heard about it, I'm like, I want to be in the Mile High Club. What?
Well,
Yeah,
you
I don't
can.
know.
You got
Oh.
$1,000. Contact Blake.
Wait, I don't like, Blake. Can you get a bigger plane, please? Because that looks like very sketchy and not fancy. Oh, and then
Yeah.
another thing I remember always is that in Sex and the City, Samantha was one of the characters was dating a really rich dude, and he had a private jet, and they would have sex in the private jet, and that was like a big, spacious, luxurious with like champagne, and I'm like, that's what I imagine when someone's
That's
like,
pretty cool.
you know, that when someone's like, you want to charter a plane and have sex on it, that's what I would imagine. Not like you open the plane and it's like mattress, one
Yeah.
mattress worth of plane.
Yeah, it's like mattress, and you can't stand up fully. You have to like lie
Yeah.
down. There's a
And it's
big,
like, and he made it like a cheap love motel, like
yeah,
fucking weird red heart cushions. And I'm just like,
yeah.
ew.
It's terrible. It's like we'll post this in the description, but like the New York Post article has a picture of the guy, the pilot, and he's got like three like strippers, I think, and they're both like all cramped in like the back, like hey. Yeah.
Contact Blake.
Contact Blake. Yes, we do
Why
not
is
make
his
any
name
profits. Yeah, we're not sponsored. This show is not sponsored by Blake's airline motel business.
Airline love motel. Well, and then Youssef sent me another thing about golden
Oh, yeah.
showers, and I'm like,
Oh,
what?
oh yeah. I mean, there is this band called what is it called? Brass Against. Basically,
Okay.
from what I know, they do rock covers from the '90s, like Rage Against the Machine,
Ooh.
Soundgarden,
Okay.
and they're pretty. Basically, there is a brass section with like instruments with like a singer who's this woman who's fucking hot, man. Like I don't know, like this front woman of this band is hot. They played a show in Florida at a festival, and in the middle of the show the singer said, oh, I have to pee, but I don't feel like going to the bathroom. I'm gonna pee right here. Who in the crowd wants to come up here, and I will pee on them, something like that. Some dude just said, oh yeah, no problem, one of the fans. He goes up
Yeah.
there, lies down, she pulls down her pants, she's a pretty hot chick, and she pees on the dude in front of everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, like
That's kind of amazing, though.
that's what I thought.
So is that did that become a problem?
Yes, I guess because of like indecency exposure and obscene laws in Florida about that,
Okay.
indecent exposure and other things. I'm not a lawyer, clearly.
Yeah, but I feel
Um,
like it's her concert, and that guy said he wanted to also. It's not like she like pulled anyone out of the crowd and like peed on the person, right?
no,
It was consent, under consent.
yeah, under
I
consent.
guess just because it was like in public, where some people might not have wanted to see it. I
Yeah,
guess.
I can like some people were like, it said that like while she was doing it, the crowd, they could hear people were like half the crowd was quiet, and then the other crowd, because they couldn't believe what the fuck was happening, and then
Right.
the
It's
other
like,
crowd
oh
was like
shit.
everyone was filming, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
but honestly, when I first read that or heard about it and I watched the video, it's blurred, so I can't see anything really. It was like, that is so rock and roll, like, oh my
That
god.
is.
Like, and then the other thing I thought was, cocaine is a hell of a drug, man, because like I swear, like everyone, if you go back, who's done like obscene shit, crazy shit like this, a lot of people have done it before. It's, I mean, I think it's because of cocaine, because like, I don't think if whoever was drunk, it'd be like, I don't know, I have no idea, but like I wouldn't be surprised if she
She was on
was doing drugs.
something.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
on something.
Yeah, you should check out her
Whether
picture.
it's alcohol, whether
She's
it's
pretty hot.
okay.
And the guy who she peed on said that it was like the best moment of his life or something.
It's like-
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she should get in trouble for that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
she's getting backlash. The band's getting some backlash online and everything, and I think there'll be some type of charges pressed in Florida, but they I think they're gonna be minor. Like I said, I'm a music fan, and I think that's a ballsy move, and now everybody is talking about this band, and that
Of
woman,
course,
yeah.
So it's part of stage persona plus marketing plus
Yeah.
like just I feel like that's how Hollywood or like stardom works also.
Yeah.
Whether they say it's like there's no bad publicity. I mean there is, honestly, but they're saying like once you get your name out there, whether it's good or bad, your name is out there and then you're known for it.
Yeah.
I guess now it's a little different where if you're known for something bad, it's very hard to get back
Yeah.
to like the
Yeah.
good. But I
Yeah.
don't
I
think
mean,
this is something that's like so horribly bad though. So
me neither. It's like if let's say if to use the analogy of the stock, it's like the stock's going up and then it goes bleep, it
mm,
goes down, but then it's
yeah.
not going to affect the long-term trajectory. Other things though would,
Mm,
like especially in this day and age, like things people say, blah blah blah.
of
Yeah,
course.
depending on what you
Mm,
say, it could fuck up your career,
entire
long-term
career, yeah,
prospects, or whatever it is.
definitely.
Um, you know.
Speaking of,
Speaking of,
other controversial artists out there.
yeah. Well, I was, we were, well, I've been meaning to talk about this in the
Mm,
last few episodes, but now I was like, is it worth it? Like, there's already so much shit
yeah.
about it, but it just keeps coming
Mm,
up and, it keeps coming up. Dave
yeah.
Chappelle, Dave Chappelle's special on Netflix. Um,
That one is
yes,
the closer, right? The closer,
yes,
or
the
is that what
closer.
it? Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
A lot of controversy on that.
Okay,
What do you think, Legina?
so I didn't read any of anything on the internet or anything of why it's controversial or anything, and I watched it yesterday.
Hmm.
I am not a big fan of Dave Chappelle. I'm like not. I don't dislike him either. I just don't know about Dave Chappelle because I was like that time where you're into like comedies and stuff like that. I was not in America because
Hmm.
that's like I feel like that's after elementary school, right? That's like middle school, high school, and like college where you start like watching stand-ups and you understand like the gritty like humor that people have and whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I wasn't here for that, so I didn't grow up like watching Dave Chappelle. I know he after I like moved back here, I realized like he was a big thing where a lot of people loved him and he had a lot of great shows, comedy shows. And I didn't really care for it until like I keep hearing his name and Netflix had like 3 specials recently, I think.
Yeah.
I saw the one during the pandemic. I don't think I was a huge fan and I was just kind of like, oh, what is this? But then this one, sorry. Okay, and I watched it yesterday. It was really good. I don't know
Oh.
why it was controversial. I really liked it. It was very touching. I actually kind of cried a little because of the part
Hmm.
where he's talking about his transgender friend,
Hmm.
the comedian friend. I felt like that was super heartwarming. I don't know. It's like you can feel his love in his way, how he's projecting. Like, everyone doesn't have the same communication, doesn't like have the same way of expressing their love.
Hmm.
And you can see he does it through comedy and through calling people bitches and and I was kind of like, oh, like that was sad. I was touched by that. But anyways, overall, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. It was funny. I could see that he's very aggressive in a way of how he
Yeah.
talks. So, I don't know. It was like I had a lot of mixed feelings. So, it was kind of like
Hmm.
I understood the people that wouldn't like him.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was okay with it, and I kind of like this show. Yeah. But
Okay. That's interesting because I watched it twice. I watched it for the first time maybe 3 weeks ago,
okay.
and then I got into some arguments with my girlfriend.
So okay, what were the arguments? Now, while I was watching it, I was like, wait, what could the arguments like? What were because the words he uses? Like, I get that, some
Mm.
words he uses, some like, but I feel like at the end he's saying it as a joke that doesn't really hurt. I'm not
Well,
sure. Yeah, it's hard to
yeah,
explain,
it,
but
it,
yes,
it
let's
is.
see.
It
Let's
is.
hear. Uh huh.
It is hard. So the arguments
Mm-hmm.
I had with my girlfriend led me to kind of try to deconstruct it in my mind, like because I'm like, all right, well, my girlfriend is 10 years younger than me, so she's a different generation than me, and
Mm-hmm.
she found it more offensive and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like Dave Chappelle. I grew up. I was part of that generation where it's like in
We're like,
college, I bought Dave Chappelle's DVD. Me and my
yeah,
friends would get high, we'd watch it, we'd laugh our
everyone
asses
loved
off.
him. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then,
Mm-hmm.
so he's like for me a cultural icon, and I
Right.
think he's a very, very smart guy. So then but at the same time, I wanted also to because I also wanted to deconstruct what I was seeing and really try to see it from the other side's perspective, because I also thought like you when I first saw it the first time. I was like, in a way, I was like, well, good, like, yeah, like it's I was in a way like kind of like I didn't understand why a lot of people were like so upset about it and like
Mm-hmm.
want to like get him off of the Netflix thing. And I'm like, I thought that was not right. But then after the discussion with my debate with my girlfriend and then reading some stuff, I decided to watch it again for a second time. And
Mm-hmm.
then I read more articles and blogs from the generally the LGBTQ community, the ones who were,
LGBTQ.
is that how it is?
Yes. LGBTQ.
LGBTQ community, those who were offended by what he is saying.
Mm,
And and it did, after watching it, it did strike, I did like it less. And I
mm.
could see
Okay.
why people were offended, because it did feel like he was kind of being mean sometimes. And what they were saying a lot was like how Chappelle, yes, he might have love for the trans community, but it's under his terms. And like you said, it's like how he
Oh
shows
yeah.
his love, but then
Yeah,
it's gotta
yeah.
be under his terms. It has to be like
I
a
do see that.
submissive trans woman who's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're funny, oh this, oh, your jokes don't bother me, oh, so if you're like that, then he likes you, and he's like, what's wrong, like, look, why can't you be like this woman who clearly had no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
But that's just one of them. And like
Right.
maybe she was also such a big fan of Chappelle that she
Yeah,
she
like he
wanted
grew
to,
up with watching him and stuff. Yeah.
exactly. And like,
Mm-hmm.
she was like maybe so like like, wow, Chappelle's talking to me, and like this is so cool, and I love
Of
Chappelle.
course.
And
Yeah,
therefore,
yeah.
she was a fan of him. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's it's more complicated than it's more complicated, because obviously this was a trans woman. The trans community is upset about this because they're saying
Mm-hmm.
that it perpetuates the I don't, I can't really put this into words, but it perpetuates, I guess,
Yeah.
the, to use a lack of a better word, violence. Well, there is a lot of violence among, among
Mm-hmm.
trans people
Oh yeah, yeah.
in society. So
Mm-hmm.
it just helps to kind of, it talks down to that population. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, after seeing it, watching it a second time, I
Mm-hmm.
see where they're coming from, because I did like the special a little less.
Okay.
You know, I
So
don't
was
know.
the controversy about his show mostly that, like that bit about? Well, actually, like half the show was about LGBTQ community and his relationship, right?
Yeah, and also I think
Uh-huh.
largely when he talks about comedians and artists. So you had that guy, the baby, which I had no idea what he was talking about the first time he said the baby. I was like, what baby is this guy talking about? Like, I have no idea. So I had to do
Yeah.
research.
It's like, who the fuck is that? Which
Yeah,
baby?
like, and I was like, a
Did he
baby
have a baby?
shooting. I was like, a baby shooting at people at Walmart. Like, this makes zero sense. And then I went online, and yeah, this rapper called Da
That
Baby,
baby.
Da Da Baby, and it's like, and he's
I'm
saying
dead.
that he's like, this guy shot
Mhm.
and killed a guy in a Walmart, yet that did not affect
Rapper
his rapper
career.
career. However, he does say some like, derogatory shit
Yeah.
towards the gay and trans community, I guess, at a at
Mm.
a at a show, and people are calling him to be canceled. Then, so he's kind of like, he's drawing attention to that disconnect between
Right,
what
right,
the,
right.
the
Mm.
disjustice that is being discussed about today.
Mm.
So he's also bringing it. He's like, so our people. He's like, our people meaning Dave Chappelle. We're artists and
Mm.
comedians. This is how we do. You come to our show. We kind of give you a show. You don't have to be here in our thing to enjoy it. You can not
Mm.
listen or something. But this is
Mm.
what we do, and this is how the art is. That's his
Yeah.
argument. That's what he's saying. So, and then the trans community is saying, well, what you're doing is causing damage. Is causing
Mm.
damage, and it's perpetuating stereotypes and negative vibes
I could
and
see that too. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the argument. And then I saw it a second time, and I kind of saw that a
You're
bit
like,
more.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm still a
Okay,
Chappelle fan, but
definitely.
yeah.
Yes. definitely agree with all of what you just said, because he does definitely, I think he does speak the truth about a lot of things. He does bring out some points that other people are afraid to say, because he knows he can get away with it, or he knows that even with the backlash he still has a bigger name that he can, you know, not be canceled. But he's careful not to cross like the really big line, you know. I feel like that's why he's like you said, he's smart enough to know, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the point he can go up to. But still, of course, people are gonna give him shit because he
Yeah.
does say some things that would affect, you know, if, because like I'm not a transgender, I'm not personally affected by what he says. But if
Yeah.
I was, I don't know how I would react either, you know.
Yeah. And also, there's a real thing about generations, generational times. Like
Mm, of
I'm
course.
a millennial. You're a millennial too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we think we experienced our growing up in society differently than these younger kids are. I think it's something that we will never
Mm-hmm.
really be. It's really hard for us to try to understand because it's like an alien concept to us. Dave Chappelle's almost 50. So
Mm-hmm.
that dude is on another level. He's very smart and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also a different generation. And
Oh
so it's a
yeah, of
clash of
course.
generations, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This highlights more than anything a clash of generations. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a good thing that it's a good thing that these things are brought up because it makes people talk about it and
Mm-hmm.
meaning talk about it and hopefully come to like some form of agreement. But it's hard. I think it's
Definitely.
very hard to to go upstream against you know, just an
Mm-hmm.
onslaught of a new generation, which is, and not to mention social media and everything. You know,
Oh
like
yeah,
this
it's
is
different from
it.
like
You
20,
know,
30 years ago.
very very different. You know,
So I've been thinking about that too. It's like we grew up where a lot of racial jokes, a lot of like masculinity, like toxic masculinity was okay. A lot of like racial jokes were okay. Um, like putting women, that's how like stand-up comedy started, right? Putting women down and talking about their wives and how they're cheating, and
very
that was
crude.
like a funny thing. Crude, like smoking on stage, you know, all of that. It was very like, that's how it started. So it's, of course, it's still gonna be at in a point like we're evolving into a cleaner comedy, I feel like, era, a cleaner comedy era. But it's
Mm.
still gonna be there, because even now I hear, like, I listen to a few podcasts from like New York City women comedians, and they say like it's still super super hard to be a woman in this industry, because the men are the ones that can say all these disgusting jokes, and they still go home with a girl at the end of the night. They can still be, you know, as disgusting as they want. They'll still have fans, you know.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a thing. I feel like the world is changing little by little, and I do agree that sometimes you have to be sensitive and fight against it in order for change to happen. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I just thought about this because like it's the same where I work in the bar, where they're so used to men being the head bartenders or the men being in charge, that men will walk up to the bar and see me there clearly doing nothing, and they'll look around for the guy bartender and then go to the guy that's
Mm.
clearly doing something. They're like, hey, they'll like come up to me and then, hey man, can I have, like, what
Wow.
whiskeys do you have? Yeah. And it's still a thing where I could just be, well, oh well, and just stand there, or I could be proactive and be like, hi, excuse me, I can help you. And I
Yeah.
can like keep doing that, so these people get it in their brains that, oh, okay, this girl knows too. Or, you know, it happens a lot. Even just yesterday, we have like a cocktail in a martini glass or a coupe, and men will be like, can I get this on the rocks? It's like fragile masculinity, where like I can't be seen carrying this martini glass because people will think my dick is small, which is not true.
Yeah.
You know, they're so scared of like, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's little by little. I always explain, if someone does that to me, I always say, hi, so all the cocktails are crafted for a reason in specific glasses with specific ice or whatever it is, because of dilution, because of the aromatics, whatever it is. Do you still want it in a rocks glass? And even after that, I still want it. Okay, then you can have it, but I want you to know the reason, for why
Yeah.
we don't give everything in a rocks class and or everything.
Yeah.
And it's just you got to like when I started working there at one of my bars, it was like so hard for people to wrap their head around that like a girl can be head of the bar, I guess. And
Mm.
even now, that's why I've been so aggressive to fix that. And people are like, "Oh god, chill. You get so angry about things." But that's why now it's better. Now people understand a little bit more because I've been super aggressive about it. And now
Hmm.
I can like chill a little and be less sensitive, and that respect is already, kind of like up there. So I
Yeah.
think that's like goes in the same way as uh you do have to be aggressive in a way to make changes.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that. I get that for sure. You want to.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
So when like Dave Chappelle says like small things that affect that community, they're being aggressive so that other men or other comedians don't do that in the
Hmm.
future. So things like little by little change, like I mean Dave Chappelle now we can't really do more to change his mind that he's wrong or right or whatever it is, I feel like
You know,
just been in this industry so long and been doing the same thing so long.
I do I this is a good thing because I do
Mm-hmm.
think like where can this go, like where can this go now, this controversy. I do think that he will either go remain or he will go down.
Mm-hmm.
He will always have his fans, but I
Of
think
course.
that depends on how he still um let's see. I have no idea. I wish him a very long successful career, but I'm just saying not that Dave Chappelle listens to this, but it's kind of like it's let's see how he handles this because
Mm.
it has a potential to really put a dent into his
Yeah.
into his future sh- shows because like the Netflix guy, the owner or the CEO,
Mm.
is under huge pressure to
Oh, to take
so
down all his
take
shows
down. So
or
maybe in the
uh
future
huh.
he won't do another Chappelle special. By the way, I do. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something?
Oh no, I just think that he said he's not gonna do for a while or something
Yeah, yeah, for a while.
already. So maybe
Yeah,
he was just like he calculated it out where he can do this
yeah,
last bang and then he can go away for a few years.
yeah. Maybe because I
Yeah.
mean, go away for a few years, let it settle down, let it simmer
Mm-hmm.
down, and come back. I mean, this might be a very interesting strategy on Dave Chappelle. Also, he says on behalf of Dave Chappelle, he also said that he would like to meet with the. I hope he does meet with some people of the trans community, specifically those who are coming at him with these things.
Right. Right.
To talk to them, and I hope he does that because they would really foster good dialogue and open discussion, which I think he
Mm-hmm.
is for. I just want to really quickly um, read off some stats here
Okay.
about how much money he got paid.
Oh
Okay,
wow. Okay.
okay. Okay? So this is
I
according to
have no
Bloom.
idea.
Okay, this is according to Bloomberg.com.
Okay.
Netflix spent 24.1 million on The Closer, slightly more than the 23.6 million it paid for Chappelle's 2019 special Sticks and Stones.
Mm.
Um, by comparison, the streaming service spent 3.9 million for Inside. Do you know Inside? No?
No.
Okay. Um, and then the 9 episode Squid Game, which delivered the best debut in Netflix history, cost
Wow.
21.4 million.
Okay, so that was less.
So Chappelle got paid more for that one special than for
A whole
Squid Game.
series.
Crazy, huh?
Of course.
Yeah, man.
That is. I mean, that's how Big Chappelle is or was,
Yeah. And
So,
supposedly it was, let me read the that is I think it was the number one. I might be wrong. Okay, there we go. Whatever. I think it's the number one thing watched on Netflix. The Closer.
oh,
Something like that.
really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I could go through it, but like I'll be wasting
Mm.
time scrolling through it. Let me see here.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll take a while, but this is from Bloomberg.com. So
Mm. Interesting.
yeah,
So, I guess it might not be worth Netflix's money and time or all the controversy he's under to keep getting him to do more stuff for Netflix.
Yeah,
Because
it
again, it's
depends.
all marketing, right? It's all marketing. It's about the money. This whole world moves because of money, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
No,
interesting though.
Legina, it's because of love. The world moves because of love.
Everyone is beautiful and has a great heart.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people do.
I don't,
Um,
mm.
no,
I
no,
want
go,
to
go,
meet
go.
all these people. No, no, I'm just like I want to meet these. Again, I'm like that old guy in Squid Games. Where I'm like, you still
Uh,
believe in people? I don't. Like,
yeah. But so if you're like that old guy, don't forget your friend Youssef. Send me a few million. Like, don't come up with a big game and scheme to like have people play a
yeah,
game. Just give me some money.
just to pay those rich motherfuckers again. Like for
Yeah,
what? Yeah.
yeah. Send a
Okay.
few bucks my way. But cool, cool. Well, it has been an hour, Legina, a little bit over, and I think that we have come to an end of the show. Do you have? Sorry, did you have anything else to say? Were you gonna say
No,
something?
just thanks for listening, I guess. I did see something that I wanted to watch just because we were gonna talk about Dave Chappelle. Bill
Yes.
Burr has a new series.
A new series?
So yeah, a series, and it's not him stand up. It's an actual series. It's called
Ah,
Immoral Compass.
Immoral
And
Compass. Oh no, we gotta watch that.
yeah, and I just like saw the trailer and it looks really funny. There are a lot of comedians in it. I think it's like about this guy. Bill Burr is a guy that lives like in his basement or in his garage or something, and he tapes videos of like immoral shit that's happening in the neighborhood, and it looks funny. And I was like, oh god, I gotta watch this. But
Awesome.
which I was thinking about like comedians, in general is like there. I feel like there's like three different types of comedians where it's like the angry shit talking people, which is like Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. That dude's
Like
angry.
like angry screaming. And then there's like the self-deprecation people, and then there's like very clean-cut comedy like Bo Burnham, I would say maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't shit talk anyone, it's just like trying to be funny. I don't know. I was just thinking a lot about like comedy stuff.
Cool.
Anyways, thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, you right there sitting there listening to us now. Thank you for listening.
You can follow us on degeneratesnymp.com or Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
All the
All
links
the
are in
channels
description.
and
We
links will
have
be.
full episodes now up on YouTube. You can watch us do this entire thing on episode unedited, this whole thing up there. So give it a watch, please, and thank you. Legina, great to see you. See you
We'll
next
see
week.
everyone next week. Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks for listening. Bye.